And to my horror, I would not date myself. I did not live up to what I wanted them to be, who I wanted them to be.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yes. So I was out of alignment.
God, I don't think anyone will ever date me.
So that's, I can't imagine that, Kate. But
I think I better book in.
I mean, I've seen pictures of you and talking to you. I can't imagine that. But I was out of alignment. I was not going to fit him. One of the things, sometimes there's things that we want, and it's like, can you be that in your own life? Are you looking at them to fill a hole for you? Are you looking for someone that's very social because you're not, and you want them to fill a hole?
Yeah.
There's so many different little nuances. It's not what we do, it's why we do it, that put us out of alignment. And it's, like I said, it's what we don't know, whether it's a pattern, whether it's how a fear, an insecurity, or just lacking knowledge. What we don't know is what trips us up.
It's fascinating. That's why people need to come and get in touch with you. Now, while we're on that point, how do people contact you, Janet?
Probably the easiest way is to go to my website, which is just realitybasedromance.com, because I believe true love happens when it's based in authenticity and reality.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just fantasy. But realitybasedromance.com, because you can find out more about me. You can download my free gift. You can schedule a free breakthrough to love call with me. I do a free call to see if it's something that's a fit for you.
Wow, so I think I might book myself in.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
That's fascinating. That's what a terrific thing you offer. So you offer a free. What is your free gift, Janet?
It's a red flag dating checklist.
Oh, that sounds quite important to have.
Yes.
And then the free call, Breakthrough to Love. What do you go over in that?
We basically go over what it is that what do you want? What's where are you at now? What is it that you want? Why aren't you getting there? And what's stopping you from having what you want? And what we can do in working together to get you there so you can have that.
That would be so productive. That would be so useful for so many people. And also people possibly that are, maybe reasonably happy in a relationship, but just to clarify what they actually want in love, to work out if that really is the right choice for them. Because, sometimes nobody who gets married intends to then get divorced. And it happens to so many people, me included. And I think, essentially we were very different people. But why didn't I work that out before I got married? We were together for a number of years. So you'd think that I would have known that then. It's, what's the what makes people realize that they are incompatible ultimately? Or is it just the fact that neither of us is willing enough to compromise? Or should you compromise to such a degree? Because then you're not living authentically.
Was that a question?
I'm not sure. I think it was more of a rant.
Oh, that's all right. Let me see if I can kind of piece that out. So I don't, in dating, especially at the beginning, I don't believe in many compromisers. Maybe where you're going to eat dinner, but there's not compromises. Because that's where you're really paying attention to, is it a good fit? I think a good relationship is like a good bra. It's all about the fit, right?
Yeah.
So, if you do that work when you're dating, when you get to the relationship, you don't have to make a lot of compromises. There are sacrifices, of course, that you make in a committed, monogamous, long-term relationship. My sweetheart is a CPA. In the spring, for tax season over here, like beginning of March to the middle of April, he has very little to give to me. Mm. But I give to him. I make sure he has clean clothes, he has food. That now it's your dog.
Yeah,
that
it's my dog.
Life is as stress-free as I can make it. because it's grueling. The end of the tax season is grueling.
Yeah.
He works, he sleeps. That's literally about all that he does.
Yeah.
So, there's compromises and sacrifices that you make, but that's down the road. That's not at the beginning.
It makes so much sense as well. It's, but what do you think, just briefly, on online dating? Because obviously a lot of people do it nowadays, and you met Bruce through a mutual friend, so it didn't, you didn't have to do that. But what's your impression, or what are your thoughts on online dating?
I think online dating is fabulous. Mm-hmm. He was online when I met him, and if it wouldn't have been for our mutual friend, I cannot believe of how any other way we would have met, because our lives were not running in any parallels in places that we would have met at that point.
Yeah.
And I did online dating when I was single, and I met a lot of nice men, several that I'm still friends with.
Oh, okay.
I think you have to be smart about it, in keeping yourself safe. And if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. There are many of my friends that meet a lot of nice men online. I honestly think that it has more to do with possibly your profile, possibly, the way it's written,
yes.
What you are. I want to say this gently because I don't want women to feel judged at all, but we so want a relationship, and I've felt this way, that what are we susceptible to in what men will tell us?
Okay,
so
yeah.
which comes back to taking care of us and trusting and taking it slow and really learning to tap into our gut. Your feelings will lie. Your gut won't, but your feelings will.
Yeah,
and knowing the difference and honoring that.
Yeah, gut instinct never lies.
It's
just remembering to listen to it, or letting it speak, and not sort of squashing it underneath our own sort of our wants and our desires.
I had a client say it's so funny one time. She said, "Janet, it's not that I met the wrong guy. It was that I married him."
I like it.
I did too. I just howled. I just love her. She was so funny.
That's fantastic. Well, we've got about 5 minutes left, Janet. So, what are your top 3 insights that you would give to people? Looking for love or in relationships. How would you? What advice would you generally give to people wanting to find a love partner?
There are some foundational things that I think that are just truths. Is that one of them is that if you are of an age and you have dated, you've been engaged, you've been married, you're dating, it's not working, and I want to say this gently, but it's not them.
Yeah.
And how you can be in control is to learn something new. It's skills and information. It's just skills and information. Like what I said, what you don't know is what's tripping you up. The second thing that I believe with women, because we tend to adapt to men and things, is that alpha men don't want to date alpha women. So it is up to us then to learn to shift who we need to be at work to be successful to a more feminine place for the quote the bedroom, for at home. Men don't want that to compete with. If you really want to be the alpha in the relationship, you need to look for a beta man. Yeah. So if you look for it if you look at it maybe in terms of king and queen, they're in partnership, they're equally strong, but men need to be respected. So if you do not respect this man enough to have him run your kingdom, why are you seeing him?
that's a very good point. But do you think that's always the case, or are you just assuming that you're taking the scenario of an alpha male with a beta female?
Well, if you want to take it from the beta, if you don't trust this man enough to run your home, why are you with him?
Yeah. No, good point.
It's a broad foundational thing, but it gives people a starting point, a thinking point that, because women, every time you hear someone complaining about the man that they're dating, that's everything that they want him to change. And my daughter taught me this because she was complaining about her boyfriend, blah, 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 blah. And I'm so thankful to her because I finally looked at her and I said, everything you're complaining about is what you want him to change. Now, he's young. He's in his mid-20s. Some of it might. But you have to look at him and think, if that never changed, could I live with it?
Yes. Yeah.
Because people deserve to be loved as they are.
Absolutely.
Not somebody that's nagging them to change.
Oh, we need to listen to you more often, Janet.
So it's so wonderful to be accepted for who I am. And there's safety in our relationship. When you walk through this process of who you are and what you want, and you ask the questions and you do what's uncomfortable when you're dating, you ask those questions and things, you create safety for both of you. Mm. And when you create safety, people are able to open up and be vulnerable. And real intimacy doesn't happen until somebody is vulnerable.
Oh, it's so true, isn't it? It's so true. What everything you said there just makes so much sense. Oh, well, Janet, I thank you so much for your time. I would encourage anybody listening to this, whether you're already in a relationship or not, to go and check out Janet's website. It's realitybasedromance.com, and I'll put all links to Janet and to me up on the show notes. And Janet, I really appreciate the time that you've given us today and to educate us about things we need to be more aware of if we're looking for love in our lives. And so, yes, I'll post the interview on the Flourish Therapy Facebook page, which again is facebook.com/flourishtherapy.co.uk. And the notes will also be on the Coach on Fire Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Coach on Fire Radio. Janet, I really appreciate the time you've given us today. Thank you so much for talking to us. And
thank you so much for having me. It's been great fun. I've really enjoyed it.
Been a pleasure. I've learned so much. I'm going to listen to this again and take notes.
Good.
And I'm also going to go and crawl your website.
Okay. Yes. I love helping. I love talking about this and helping people. Because it's just, once you're across the bridge, you see that it's skills and information.
Yeah. And you know what? It's a lot less complicated than I think a lot of us think it is.
It
go out with the right intentions.
It is.
Yeah. Well, thank you to all our listeners for being here. This was episode 19 of the Flourish and Thrive radio show with me, Kate Hartley of flourishtherapy.co.uk. Janet Tingwald was my passionate guest, and you can find more about Janet at realitybasedromance.com. So until the next time, I wish you goodbye from us both.
Bye-bye.
I can do anything. I can reach any goal today. I can do what I want. I can be what I want to be.
Coach on Fire Radio.